All right. So, good morning once again, and welcome to today's class, where we'll be diving deep into one of Python data types, which is a member of Gaussian data type, and that happens to be tuple. In our last class, we talked about lists and all its method. So today we'll be looking at tuples. If time permits us today, we will go over to dictionary and all of that. So what is a tuple? I think I should get a new one. Save and do tuple in Python. So a tuple is okay. Before then, just some reactions that I'm audible and you can hear me. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So a tuple is a data type, a data structure that is immutable, that is unchangeable, and other sequence of elements. So what that means is that tuple, as opposed to a list, is a data type that is immutable and is unchangeable, or that sequence of data. Why? Because tuples are immutable. Their values cannot be modified. Okay. Now we will look at. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just said disconnected. All right. And we'll be looking how that is done. Remember when we talked about list, I made mention that you take um, notice of that, because list, if I should say, is kind of opposite to tuples. You can modify a list, you can change it, order, you can add. We saw the different method that we are available in a list. You can append to a list, we can update a list, we can replace a list item, and all other things possible using list. But in tuples, that is not so possible. So let's initialize. Okay. So for those of us who got the access token, this is the repository we're working with. You could see our license, you could see our README file. So this is a subfolder where I'll be creating a file, and I call it top.py. Let me call it that way. Please, if your system, you can do this with me. So I can assign maybe students name, and I will assign it to this. Can someone remind us of a list symbol? What do we use to differentiate a list from a tuple? And remember that
The list is
your background is quite very noisy. Who is that? Please mute. For list, we use square brackets.
square
But
brackets,
for, yeah, but
while
for
tuples is parentheses.
yeah,
And
exactly. Okay. So let's make a list of strings, probably a student's name. We have Sandra, we have Edidion in the class, Edidion, and we have, I think I saw Esther, yeah. Who else? We have Promise. So this is us making a group of strings in our tuples. So we assign it to this. Just to be sure, we could print type. We could print type of that to be sure it's we are working with tuples. So if I say come to my terminal, cd into Python, right? Okay, so if I ls to see my file, okay, so this is our file. We're working with top.py. So if I run Python 3 top.py, right? We should see what we have there. Still running. Item 3 not found. Did you mean? Oh, I spell it wrongly. So instead of that, add T here and run. So you could see it's of class tuple. We talk about this class later. So let me not confuse you. Let's keep that aside. So you could see that we are dealing with tuple. All right. So let's go ahead and print out the items in the tuple. Student underscore name, right? If I save it, come to here, clear my screen, and run top.py. So we see Sandra Edidion. Any question?
I don't really have question on this, but I want you to help me clear something. You know, on this your own person. When as you are typing, other information will be coming out. But my own is not like that.
Okay, so why is that? I think I have is it Copilot or Codium linked to my working environment.
Okay.
So you not having it is not a problem.
Okay. It's okay.
All right. Okay, so that being said, tuples are used for grouping data types. You can see that this is for string. Okay, so let me go ahead and make a tuple for integer int1 equals to no. So integer of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now make it's for floats 1, and also set that. What again? Maybe you can make it for boolean as well. Come here and say bool 1. So let's go ahead and print it out. So at line 6, instead of just printing out students' names, I'll print it in this way: int, float, and bool. So if I save that, come to my terminal and run top.py, we see we have Sandra, Esther, and this, and the rest. So that tells us that, yeah, tuples are used for grouping data types, either strings, integer, floats, and bool. And tuples are wrapped, please take note, are wrapped inside or within or between, however you want it, parentheses, separated by commas. You see that. And then again, each element or each member of a tuple is called an item. All right, so let's see other things we can do with tuple. Probably we can access individual elements in a tuple, right? Just like we did in a list. So we could print out prints let's get the old name. We print this students name. Then at index, let's get Esther. Esther is at index 2. So if you save that, come to the terminal, clear my screen, and run top.py. I can meet this one. Let me comment it out. Then run only number 7. Top.py. We see that student at index 2 is that, and of course we know how this is 2 instead of 3, right? Edidion, Promise, Sandra, and the rest, we all know how this is 2 instead of 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. You ask question, we see that we are progressing. Can get Promise using the reverse order -1. So if we save that, clear our screen, run top.py, see Promise. So these are just basically. So how do we get the length of this? We just come here and use the length function to see. Come here, add it. So if I save, clear my screen, run top.py, you see that it is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length of the tuple is 4. And we all understand that we'll be working with length since the days of strings when we get to list and all of that. Now let's look at how to. We've seen how to access individual elements. Now this is where it's getting tricky. Please take notes. I think I should use my notepad this time around. This is when we get to explore the properties of tuples when it, being immutable, being unchangeable, is that how to spell it? Unchangeable, and all other things. You cannot modify it. We get to see these properties, these characteristics of tuples now. Now, from the definition, we are made to understand that you cannot update a tuple. You cannot modify it, and you cannot change anything in it. But we want to make a workaround on this, in that we want to update a tuple element of the elements. So how do we do it? Here comes the question. First of all, we have to change. This is possible in a list, right? All these things that are not possible in a tuple is possible in a list. So what do you do? First of all, you convert a tuple to list. Once you convert this, that is not possible, all the characteristics are possible, you convert it to list, that here all these characteristics are possible here. That is where you can modify it. And then after you convert it to list, make your changes. Then again, you convert the list to what? To convert list to tuple. right? Okay, so let's see this each of these individual steps. First, convert the tuple to a list, make your changes, your modifications, and all of that. Once you are done, you convert it back to a tuple. So let's go check that out. Maybe I'll just create a new file. Now we are trying to make things organized since we'll be pushing it to GitHub, right? So each of the subtopic will have its own file. So let me call this updates .py. Can you still hear me, please? All right, yeah, trust me. So let's make a list of favorite foods, a couple of favorite foods. Favorite underscore fruits. So let me just accept this. So let's assume this is a tuple of favorites what fruits in a list in a string format, right? And then again, we just forgot. Oh, I think um we should add this orange. I think we should add orange to this. So maybe orange is one of your favorite foods. Then you could say y maybe equals to, what do? You first of all convert it. And how do you convert it? You use the list constructor. We talked about this a word when we talked about list. There's something called list constructor. Okay. Then we now, what do we want to convert to list? Favorite food. All of this we want to convert it to list. So favorite food. Please follow. And before I do anything again, if I want to print y, right? You will see that y is a list. So let me save that, come to my terminal and run top.py. Top.py print y. Did I save it? No. Okay, yeah. I'm running top.py instead of updates dots. So that's, I changed it to updates.py, right? And have you seen its format? That it is in a list. It is in a list format. Okay. So if I print type of this y, I needed to show you the list type of y. If I save that, clear my screen, run updates.py, have you seen it's of list? So the first step is accomplished now, right? I'll take this out. Hope you are following. Now, at what index do I want to make modifications? We've converted this to a list, right? So come down and I'll say I will make what did you want to add? Orange, right? Then step 2 is accomplished, right? We changed from line 2, we converted the favorite foods, which is of tuple, to list in line 2. And in line 3, we've made changes to it, we've made modifications to it. So in line 4 rather, we now want to convert the list back to tuple. And how do we do it? Using the list, we use the list constructor when we converted it to a list. So on line 4, we have to use the same thing, the tuple construct. So, all right. So if I now print out favorite food, save that. And before I save that, let me do something. Let me print type of this to see that you've converted everything to back to tuple. Type of favorite foods. I'll first of have to comment this out first. Save it. Come to the terminal, clear my screen, and run updates.py. It's of type tuple. Yeah. So the last step is accomplished as well. So let's go ahead and print out all these. Come here, clear my screen, and run updates.py. Have you seen we've been able to add orange to our tuple? That way we've been able to make our way, walk around this and modify it. Is it understood? Any question? Any confusion somewhere? Ask question, or Cosme, I'll ask you question.
Okay, so
Are we still together? Is it?
we're together. I was following you, so I also tried to modify the student's name by changing Promise to Susan, and it's giving me an error message.
Okay,
He
did you
said,
follow the steps accordingly with chill first? At line 1, we initialized a tuple of what favorite fruit, which is the
yes,
first thing. Then in line 2, we converted the tuple to list, right? Did
yes,
you do that?
yes, I did that.
Then in line 3, since everything is now list, you're now working with list. So you now modify the list, not the tuple. Take note, which at here I think we have we modify this to orange. Any index of your choice, you can do that. But for me, I don't really like banana, so I changed it to orange. And at line 4,
Okay, I think I've seen where I missed it.
okay, beautiful. So any question from some other person, from any other person? I'll ask you a question. On next example, someone will unmute and tell me what to do. So if you keep quiet, it means that you understand, right? Is that what you want me to believe? You all understand, right? Promise, Glory, Edidion, Esther. I just know the name. I don't even know of us. Any question? No question. Okay, so I'll call name and somebody will help me do the next one for me. And before that, I don't know, I was expecting question from somebody. We've not been having this green, what do we call it? This files and folder name being colored green. But today we have it and nobody asks. Is it that you don't care to know? Nobody cares to know. Okay, so this happens because now we are now, we've now advanced. Okay, so we are now doing advanced things. We connected our GitHub to our VS Code. Is that it? Yeah. You could see my own. You did not. Good. So every other person did the same. So yeah, and Python is telling us, yes, we have a file that is not yet pushed to our GitHub repository. And you could see here, you could see from this, you could see something when I hover over it, over this icon, you could see source control, two pending changes. Can we all see that? Let me zoom in. Yeah, let me zoom in. Can you see two pending changes? So if I clicked on it, you could see this. They're telling me they have this at this plus sign, telling me that yes, I can stage it. I can stage this change. I can add it to my GitHub, and I have this update.py that we worked on. That means we worked on top.py, we worked on updates.py, telling me start changes. So there are two ways of doing this. I can do this here from this, or I can come to my own terminal here, clear my screen. Let me first of all work with the terminal. Subsequently, be working with this. So if I clear my screen here and run git status, right? You could see here, please let me take this up so that we see. Can you see on the branch main, the branch is up to date with this, but we have untracked file. That means they're not tracked. So use git add file and blah blah blah. So what this is telling us is that we have files that are not tracked, so we can use git add and all and the file name to include it. So let's do that. If I clear my screen, say it's add. Now there are two ways of doing this also. I can use git add and mention each of these individual modified file, mention top.py and updates.py, right? Or I can just add everything. So git add space and dots. Dots, can you see the dots means add everything? So it's either you use this git add space and dots, or you just say git add, you mention the file name, updates.py space top.py. But me, I don't love stress. Let me use this one. And you see that, so the next thing is, since you've added it, you commit it, git commit, that is -m. This -m is a flag or message. You have to add a message to this. So you say, I could say pushing, I could say committing, anything. Committing, is that how to spell commit? Committing words top.py. The message depends to you. Top.py and updates. Updates.py. Okay, so I'll hit enter. Okay, have you seen? Commit this. So they're telling me two files change with 13 insertions. Great mode, you see top.py and updates.py. So I'll go ahead and git push. Git push. Let's wait for it. So why is it taking time? Could it be my network? Okay, yeah. So it's done. Enumerating sys, blah blah blah, compressing this and into this GitHub repository. If you control click this, it will take you to this GitHub repository. So let me click it. It's either you check it here, hit your control key and click it. Have you seen where they're telling you follow the link? Control click. So and it's pushing to main. So it's either you open it from here or you go directly to your GitHub and check. So if I come here and now refresh this page, like reload it, you will see the changes we made to this GitHub repository, right? I believe you are doing that with me also. So inside this folder that we created, inside this Python folder, which we have in our VS Code, we have this Python folder. So inside which we have here, we give you break it down you'll see top.py and updates.py. So let's check out what we have in top.py. It's the same thing with have you seen student name, Sandra, Elidio, Esther, int one, this, I'm going to comment that. Okay, so I believe you're doing this with me. Any question on that? Any question, my wonderful people? Can you even hear me? Some reactions, please. Okay, so I believe you're all good on that, right? Okay, so back to this. And you've seen everything is now white, no green color again. So if I clear my screen here and then I run git status, again you see they're not telling us to commit. I said on branch main, your branch is up to date, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Okay, so let's look at some other thing here. You said you understood this, right? So someone should admit and tell us how to using these steps. It's still the same thing, the same steps, but we want to apply a new method, still same steps. So I want someone to admit and want to use append, want to use this method, append.py, append. So you want to append something to our list. Let me call this list 1 equals to, and I will say this time around, let me use integer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, after this first step, what next do we do? Should I do rather? Someone should admit and tell me. You said you had no question, which means you understood, you were following, you were okay with it. So can someone unmute and tell me what to do? Just from what we did previously.
Let's repeat the question.
We want to append a number to this tuple list. And mind you, from what we made to understand from the characteristics of tuples, they are unchangeable and they are immutable. But then again, we want to see how we can work around this and, change it, make modifications to it and all of that. But this time around, we want to use the append method, which you all know what it means. We'll be working with it when we've talked about strings and when we talk about lists. So we want to append a number, maybe 6 or whatever number to this at the end of this subject. So how do we do that?
Okay, so we need to convert this tuple to a list.
To a list, right? Beautiful. So let me say maybe top 1, right? Because we want to convert it to a list.
Yes. Top 1 equals list.
Okay, beautiful. So what should I put here now?
List in bracket list 1.
In brackets list 1. Okay, so next thing, what should I do?
Next thing is time to append.
Append. My code assistant is helping you out. So this automatically means you understand the flow and all of that. So for those who don't get it, Glory, thank you very much for that. At line 1, we initialize a tuple, and at line 2, can I zoom in? Are you seeing my screen perfectly?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So at line 2, we converted the tuple to a list using the list constructor, list keyword. And at line 3, we used our desired method. This time around, we are working with append, and we append number 6, we all know what the append method does. And at line 4, since we've succeeded, okay, we find a way around it, we convert it back to tuples, and then again prints it out. So if I save and come here to run my code, no, Python 3. What is this thing? Append, yeah. Append.py. If you run that, you see yes, and we've succeeded in adding 6 to it. Beautiful. So any question? Is anyone lost? Anyone lost? So I believe you're together. So of course here we can use other method. We can use the remove keyword here. Of course, you know what remove does. And we can remove what from the list. We can remove 3 or 3 from the list. So if I save that, clear my screen, and run append.py, C3 is out. So that is some of the things we can do with it. Any question? We are making progress, so we are advancing. So if you don't understand something from point A, I think it will be difficult for you to get it when we get to point B. So if at any point you have question or you are lost somewhere, you can always throw question at me. Nobody's saying anything. Okay, so we proceed. There's something for. We've been working with this. So let's look at loops in SOPL. We saw loop in list. We saw loop in string. Let's see how we can make a way using looping through tuples. So I'll take this down from here and get a new file. Call it loop.py. Of course, we know what list loop is. We iterate over our list, we iterate over string, but now we want to iterate over our tuple. So if I call this top, and I will assign it to my favorite foot again. Is it only foot? This. So could say oranges, apple, and all of that. So how do we look through this? Now, listen, this is where people eyebrow will be raised and people will be scratching their heads. So listen to how I do this. Maybe probably let's use the following. We say for what? For item. For each item, let me call it like that. Each item, for each item in top. Let me come down, explain that before we proceed. So this is telling us for each, and we know each element in this group is called an item. Each individual element here is called an item. So I'm saying for each individual item in this tuple. So this is what line 2 means. For each individual item in this, print it out. As simple as that. For each individual item is print it out. So let's save that. Come here, clear my screen, and run this time around loop dot py. So it gave us apple, banana, and grapes. And of course, we know what loops does. Instead of us printing each individual element as each index, when we say print index, top at index 1, top at index 2, top at index 3, and all of that. So the loop help us achieve that just in one line of code. Can we try something different? Let's look through the index number, right? The index on this. So for item in top, right? And we apply the len function. Let me use range here. We also talked about the range. Let's practice it here. So for item in range, GE. Okay. Then let's check out len of top. Can someone tell us what the output will look like? Judging from our last class, we're working with len function and this. If we run this code, is line 2 even correct? Is the expression there correct? Judging that we have top here, we have item here. What will we have? Will it throw an error or it will successfully run? Just think, you must not be correct.
It will run.
It will run. Are you sure? Let's run and see. What are we running? Look.py. Is this our expected output? Okay, now chill. So let me run, instead of print item, let me print stop here. Save that. Come to my terminal, create it. Let me take it up. So you get to have wide view. Create it, run, look.py. What's this? Some people should ask. Okay, so what the first print statement does that it's printed each at this range, but what is the range? The range is not there. Someone might ask, but trust me, the range is there because the range of this, we talked about range and you know what it is. The range is the length of these words, this tuple. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is why we add 3. It's at the range of 4. So that is why we add 3 the other time when we printed out item, right? I'm still coming back to this. When we printed out item, if I save that, that is why we add from range of this to 3. I don't know if that makes sense. So I just believe someone would have asked range what the range number is not there, the range limit is not there. But at this point, it's taking the range is this, the length of this tuple. That is just to clear maybe any confusion of or whatsoever. So if I save that again, clear my screen, run look.py, and this. So this is printing out each individual elements at what range? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you understand this. At the range of the length of this tuple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times at the range of this length, the length of this tuple, print each individual element out. Are we clear on that? Or is there any question?
Clear.
Yeah, clear. Because I'm going to apply while loop now. That is for loop. Okay, so let me still come here and maybe down. I will while loop example. So come down control. Let's use Sandra as our words. Support variable name. And we still use the name of students in class. Now, this is even getting tricky, so you pay attention. Let's initialize something. Let's say x equals to, let's start from 0. Before we even pick this, let's get it out. And I'll explain. See what line 9 is telling us. While x is less than the length. So what is the length of this tuple now? Can someone tell me? So when the output comes out, you don't get to frown. Why do we have that? What's the length of this?
3.
You said 3 or 4?
4. Sorry, 4.
Beautiful. So while x is less than the length, that means it does not exceed this. It's less than the length of Sandra, which is our variable name in this regard. Okay, so print Sandra at index x. You get to see. And we have something strange here at line 11. It's telling us x plus equals to y, which is the same thing as x. Okay, let me even use another line. It's the same thing as x equals to x plus 1. Please, can you mute to help the recording? What we have at line 11 is this expression here. So x plus equals to 1 means x equals to x plus 1. So it will come to this Sandra 1, and it will now come and add, to bring 1 here and add. So it is 2 this time around. That is when we have a video. Okay, so 2 now plus 1. That's when we have a star. It's gone back 3 now plus, that is when we have promise. So I believe this is clear. This expression is clear from this illustration that I've made at line 13.
Please,
So
it's
if
not clear to me.
at line 11 we have x plus equals to
So
1.
not line 11. Please start from line 8.
Line 8. So at line 8 we are telling x to start from 0. So that means it will start from here. If we tell it, we assign it to 1 to start from idiom.
Okay, so
I'm
if
telling
it's that way, if we are starting from 0, so why did we say that the length is 4 instead of 3?
Now this part has to do with memory management. I took time to explain that it's this part, line 8, has to do with memory management. So it will come here and assess individual elements, while the length function give us the actual length. Please don't be confused.
Okay.
The length function gives us the actual length, while this has to do with memory management. Indexing, we talk intensively on indexing. Maybe you need to watch the recordings again. Now I am telling it to start from 0, the index of 0. Maybe I'll be using index 0 rather. So from index 0 we have what, Sandra. So if it's a index 1, it will start from Edidio. Okay, so at line I'm telling it while what, starting from 0. Okay, while everything that will be assigned to x, okay, is less than the length of this tuple, which is 4. the length of Sandra as our variable name. Okay, so I'll print it out at that index. Okay, put C variable at literal from 0 and now. So at line 11, I'm telling it increase. This is an increment at line 11. So x will come. X is 1 plus 0 plus 1. It will be 1. So it will be here from here. The next time it's bring 1 to x. 1 plus 1, 2. It will be a division. 2 plus 1, 3, extra, and so on and so forth. From the illustration I made here, x equals to x plus 1. This line 11, this is what it means. So don't get confused. All right. Are we clear on that? I suppose so. I have to come here and comment out this one so we don't get confused when we comment it out. I would have erased it, but let me leave it in case you want to check out the code on the desktop. Okay, so this is what we have now. If I save it, come down, clear, then run what are we running? Look up high, right? Yeah, look up high. Oh, line 13. Okay, let's check out the error. You can check out the error with me. Let me zoom out so that you can have a very wide view of it. So at line, see at line 11, plus all this unsupported type of this. Okay. Okay. So instead of this, Python wants us to, this is still correct in where, but maybe due to some settings in my system. So instead of this method, Python wants us to use the express one. So instead of saying, I will now say x plus 1 instead. It's still the same thing. Or I believe it's from my settings. It prefers this one. So if I save it, now clear my screen. Where are we? Yeah, here and looked up high. Looked up high. Why do we still have error? Length of Sandra. Okay, well, x is less than length of Sandra. Print Sandra at this for this. So what is it telling us? Not supported between instance of tuple. There's an error here and it's from my settings. This is supposed not to be a problem. While x is less than length of Sandra, print Sandra at this, and all of that. Let's look at how to debug that together. Not supported between instances of tuple and int. Does it mean I need to convert this to int? No. Okay, so let's see. Sandra, this, do we have no all out? Length of Sandra. Let me type it out myself. God accepts it. X equals to So 1, 2, and that's so let's say I equals to, let's start from 0, right? And while I this time around is less than the length of S, which is actually correct. Let me save it. If not that, we check out what the issue is. Clear my screen. This and run look.py. Okay. Oh. Okay, so I did not have a proper indentation here for this code block from what? From line 9. As simply when my system did not give me the correct code indentation. So let's go over to what we have before. I need to quickly do that. Sandra. Edidion and all of that. And we start from index 0, which give us Sandra. Let me start from index 1 and check out what we have. Well, our variable name, the length of this printed out. So if I save that, clear my screen, and run to .py. Edidion Esther promise text outside. Are we together now? Sandra, Promise, Edidion, who again, Glory, and who is on the call with us? Any question for us? Any question? Or where are you lost? Are we lost somewhere? Can you even hear me? Promise, can you hear me?
Yes,
Sandra
yes.
and Gloria. Gloria, you are the up.
No, I'm not. I'm at home. Not feeling fine.
Oh, sorry about that. It's the weather. It's like I'm covering from my head to my toe. You need to see me. Okay, so let me leave the screen for 2 seconds and look at it again. Maybe we can deduce something from it or have a question for us. Okay, so for that, I believe there's no question. And then again, if you want to add this, you can just come here. I'll show you the other way how to use the terminal. You can just come here and have you seen it's telling us to add this stage, this or stage. So I will commit and push. Well, you should leave the commit message here. So I'll say push or add loop dot py. Please, I will commit message and I will commit and push. Are you sure you want to this? Make sure you complete username dot this. Learn more cancel. I did this already now. Why is it telling me again? So then what that means is that I should add, maybe while trying to push, you will see something like this, maybe git config. I think I leave it somewhere. See git global dash dash config username. Something like this. Git config. Is it git global first? Should be git global dash dash config. Then they'll tell you something like username in brackets. Username. User.name. So what that means is that at this user.name, you have to input your username here, and you have another thing like it's always to git global, because I'm doing this because you may likely see it. So when you see it, you don't need to panic, just for you to provide the necessary information that is in for you. Dash dash config, right? Yeah. Then they'll tell you user email. Then you add the email you used to open the account. So that is that. I will not wait and set this now. So I'll use my terminal. Git status first. It's always save. I forgot to add to one git status first before you. So changes not stage for commits. Use git add to update what you've committed. Use git restore to discard changes. And this restore means that maybe if you mistakenly commit or mistakenly add a file, you can use git restore and the file name. It will undo what you did. So they are telling us on track file. Okay, append.spy should be included. Okay, so that is that. Clear my screen. It's add. Of course, you know what this command does. Git commit. This is for the message. You saw here they required all our commit message. So this flag is git commit and a commit message. So this dash m flag means commit message. So I'm providing it now. I'll say update some files. 2 files inserted Python append and look.py. Have you seen what I'm working here is currently affecting here is telling us synchronizing changes, this and that. So git push. And we get to push those 2 files to Immutable. So since that is done, and if you check your GitHub, you see it. This is the last time I'll be checking. By this, you should be familiar with it now. If I just go back, let me go back. What was that our new file name? Append and loop, right? Was it inside here? Okay, so if you see append.py and loop.py. So if you open loop.py, you see what we have. So that is that. I believe you should be able to do this on your own by now. Okay, so let's look at another subtopic. We get a new file for that, and we want to see how you can join 2 tuples together. I think when we look at if statement, maybe before Thursday, we have to work on our first project. Glory, what was our first project? What was supposed to be our first project? I think you were the one that asked the other day.
Yes. We create a calculator.
Okay, so we do that this week. So I need to wait till we get to those fully to do that. So this is another method we want to look at. We want to see how to join two tuples together. Although it's very simple, we have to rush over it. So let's say top 1 equals to, let's say, a comma what? Maybe we have p. It has to be in quotes. And top 2, let me just accept that. So if we add 3, this is where the word comes join. We want to join line 1 and line 2. So if we print out top 3 now, print top 3, come here, clear my screen and run what? Python 3, then what join dot spy. What folder are we? We are Python, we are here, Python 3 join dot spy. Why don't we have our expected outputs? This and print out this, supposed to have print. Yeah, it's correct. Should give us our desired output. Top 1, top 2, top 3. What could be the issue? Maybe I've used a name that that is reserved in Python. So instead of join, I will say add. Okay. This that's instead Python 3 add dot py. Okay, so we wait for this. Let me try something different. Why should it not give us what we want? Though you are going to advance things, we're pressing some crazy things together. Let's do that. And with this top 1, top 2, top 3. Yeah, this is not even the issue. So if I just get to know, I never save them. So that is why. Okay. I forgot to save. And we have it. We have Sandra, a video of Esther. So most of the time, you have to think why. Maybe I just leave my settings to when I press, it should save automatically. Okay, so that is that for join. But what if we want to do this? Let's get to Python. Before this, let's call this one 4, top 4. Then we have top 3. I want to make this. I want to duplicate this now by using asterisk. So top 3 equals to top 1 by 3 times. So I'll save that and print top 3 instead. So if I come here, clear my screen and run that. Did I save it? Yeah, save it as another. Top times 3 And then again, it's not giving us what we wanted. Oh, it did. I thought I used to. I need to use to make it more obvious. Save it, clear my screen, run that. Yeah, can you see that? 1 to Z, 1 to this, and 1 to this 3,000. So it's as simple as that. As simple as that. Okay, so that is that for tuples. I need to quickly bring it back because we lost our recording. I forgot to mention that we lost our recording the last time. So let's look at something very, I should have put it, one of the very important collection data type, which of course is a dictionary, and you happen to use it a lot. Trust me when I say you use it a lot, you will. You will. Okay, so in this we talk, please take note of this when you want to push this. Maybe later I'll drop it on the group for you know what to do. So we talk about dictionary now in Python. So dictionaries, of course, like other data types, are used to store data values in data values, but this one in a key value pair. You get to see what that means in a key value pair. What that means is that we have our list as being single, lists as being. Someone want to ask question? We have list as being single and all of that. And we have our tuple as also being just single value and no pair. Top to use parentheses, just maybe whatever you want to, and maybe this. Sandra. So this is what we have for tuples and list. So, but for dictionary, and you see this uses square bracket and this uses parentheses, but this one dictionary uses what? Curly braces. Take note of the differences. Take note of the differences. One is comes in key value pairs, and this is how to differentiate it from list and top. So let's see from let's see how that is done from what's going. So I'll create a new file and call dict.py. Okay, so let me say still and say just dict. And what do we use? Curly braces. Okay. So it's either this way or I still maintain my one line. I still maintain my one line and I'll say Sandra and I will say maybe Sandra is 5 years old. Have you seen key value pair? Example of that. So I'll give it out to Edidion, and I will give Edidion, maybe Edidion is 6 years old. Come out of it. Who again? We still have Esther and Nicole. Esther, and we say maybe Esther is 8 years old. Then again, Promise. Say Promise is 7 years old. So you can either give it one line like this, or from here, either it is one line like this, or from here, I'll take it back. Watch what I do. I close it that way. So this might seem, you see, he has to be at this indent. It has to match the variable name. So if this looks confusing, you maintain your words, your simple line. But it gets to where you have a lot of items and a lot of values. So this is what you're using. So take note of this syntax, please. If I come out and print it out, save it, clear my screen, and run Python what? Python 3, then dix dot py. So we have promise. And the order, yes, I forgot to add that the order does not matter. The order in dictionary does not matter, does not pay attention to that. Any question before we proceed? Ask me question now. Are we together? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We are together.
Okay. Why is the voice so low? You're together, but you're weak.
No, I'm also not feeling so well.
Oh. Sorry. Okay, so we could say from this, it's one, and we get a particular value for it. And we use this to do that. Let's say, who should we get? Edit this time around. Is this the spelling we use? Why is it giving me warning? A D. Yeah, can someone tell us why it is this way? That's a very small warning or small error. Just to be sure we are following. Why is Python giving us this warning?
The
Okay, so
quotation.
because
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so if I save that, clear my screen, and run this.py. Okay, we do not have any warning here, but we have error here. So let's see. Set object is not subscriptable. This one and this should give us 6 of y. At line 5, where is line 5? Print this at this should give us 6. Set objects not subscriptable. Type error. Oh. Oh, but this shouldn't be error, an error. I don't know, some settings in my laptop that I need to work out on it again. Yeah, I needed to ask something, and just something just got to my mind. Yeah, Glory, were you able to get your own what is it called? Your own access token?
Yes.
What else? What else did not do that, please? Who else was unable to do that? We come back to this, we remind me for that. That is a type error from my setting, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I don't know. My system don't freeze now, please. Uncle, don't freeze now.
So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so last time you said we lost the video.
Yeah, so that is why if you see in today's class, I had to start all over again in Tuples, from Tuples rather. Yeah, so this should be given out to you. The other day, network was really disturbing, so I couldn't get the video, could not share it due to some reasons I don't have answers to. So that is why I had to start all over again to help others to use it. So does that answers your question?
No, I didn't even ask. My question is, what happens if it repeats itself? How do we help? Because it's like you would have preferred us to remain in the meeting, so you join back and get the recording.
I have the recording in my system, but
Okay.
I don't know some settings I did wrong. Remember, we joined the class very late. Maybe I didn't complete some of the settings I was supposed to have done before we proceed the class, so couldn't share it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is it. But someone should just screenshot this example down when I hopefully get to set system we worked on it again, because I really need to show you this. The article is supposed to give us 6, but to some reasons, I don't know, my system is telling us type error, which is not supposed to be. So let's look at how we can access individual elements. And for that, I will want to get a new dictionary. Okay, so I could say, let me use this beautiful. Let me use this, because this will serve the purpose. Now, how do we do that? People don't even pay attention when I made this and nobody called my attention to it. We have run into another error now. Let me use normal keyword, so I don't know what to do. Yeah, so could say this equals to, want to modify it now. Model. Access model, the same thing we wanted to do. It should give us monster as our output. If that my setting will not frank again, so give us monster. Is it monster as output? So if I print X, save that. Come down. Why is my terminal still freezing? What is going on? Oh, Ubuntu is not available yet. That's why. I have to refresh it. So the new terminal. Yeah, Ubuntu is here. Let's wait for it to go. So Python 3 what file name dit.py. Can't open file, no source file. Which directory are we? Python, did we see it into Python? No. Oh, I even get to see why we have issues the other time. We have not cd into this Python directory. And that's just it. So that was the problem we had at cd into Python. Right. So Python 3 dit.py. So we have monster. So this is almost the same thing we did the other time, but we were at the wrong directory. So just like we could access individual elements in our list, in our string method, we can also do that in dictionary. Any question?
Yes, so I have a question. I don't understand what you just did in this date.
Okay, so this is us assigning this brand of car. Maybe the what I'm using is what is confusing you. Let's stick to our student's name. And I could say Sandra H is maybe 3, then give it out to Glory. And then Glory name instead is 5. And what year are we, right? Let me apply that 2025. It's looking more real now, right? Now I want to access particular elements there. So I want to access who? Let's say Glory. Yeah, you're the one that asked the question. So let me access Glory. So Glory should give us 5 as output. Glory's age should give us out as. So if I save that, comes down, clear my screen, run this.py. So Glory's age is 5. This looks more real and more explanatory, right? So you now get what you're doing. Glory, does that answer your question?
I think I now understand the previous one now. This one is right.
So if we do something here, if we try something, let's try something else. Let's try to get all the value keys of this. So X, let's assign this to what is called the dot key. Remember, we are working with key value pairs. So let's use the key keyword dot key, and you see Python suggests that for us. It will give us all the keys, which is this. Rather, these are keys and these are values. I think I should print both of them at once. So if I print, come down and print X, print Why? Clear my screen. This is always my problem. I forgot to save again. So save, run this pi. So we have for the keys, key value pay, right? So for the keys, we have Sandra, Glory, and the year. So for the values, we have 3, 5, and 25. Any question? Are we tired already? We should stop the class. Maybe this dictionary
No,
is. Oh, okay, we are still together, right? So we can add a new item. This was that. I don't need to erase it. So let me take it down. So we can add a new item to this dictionary, right? So maybe we say S equals to. I want to add a new item to that. This we use this, right? This this right dot key. I just showed you what the key keyword is useful. But S. Okay. Then I could come here. Please take note to take notes. And I will now say this, pick this as Python suggests that I want to assign it to, what should I use? Maybe color, and it should be a string. Color and assign it blue. So this is its value, and this is its key rather, and this is its value. So if I print that out, print save it, clear my screen, and color, I assign it to blue from line 8, and I printed it out. So from there we have color, and the color what is assigned blue. That is the result of that. Any question? We can do that to value, right? Each item, maybe glory, and instead of 5, we may assign it to 10 or whatever desired value we want to change it to. So that explains what we do at line 8. That is mimicking it small blue. Any question, please?
can you come again? What are we printing? What was the What's the essence of
At
putting
this point,
color
yeah.
equals blue?
So at line 8 is what we have here. So if I should comment this out for you to have a very clear view, comment this comment this out and this comment this out. Okay, so if I save it now and run my code, have you seen that it has added line 8, which is we added something to our dictionary. It has added color and blue to it. That is what we printed out at line 9.
So you are saying that instead of us to use the append method, we can also use this one in dictionary.
But yeah, exactly. So can we get to even make it more real? Let's change this. Maybe here. Okay, let me use who just asked question, Sandra, right? Sandra, and we give it words. We give it 5 instead. Do we have 5 already? No, we give it 10. So if I save that, clear my screen, run that, Sandra is 10. So that is what we did there. You see this, right? Sandra is 10. Looking more real now. That is, we just changed the value. And there's one more thing we can do. There are lots, but let me just add that we could just use update this date update method. Of course, we can remember what the update method is. Let me update who. Let me update here. Okay. So let me update here to what's to future 2026, right? So if I print it out, you see that clear my screen, run this pie. Here, how many prints? Okay, it's printed this one before, so let me comment that out. It's printed glory. This is the first print statement, so I should take that out first. Comment it out. All right. Okay. So I thought as much. I lost internet for a while, so we have to stop here today to avoid what happened the other time repeat itself again. So like I was saying, we've seen how to use this method in other data types, like the remove, how to remove an item, how to look over through a dictionary, and all of that. So it will be given to you as an assignment to practice. Of course, it's not difficult. You've been doing it in other data types. So it's just for you. I'll drop material for you to study and use it to do the assignments. Between you